Greenland. It's one of the most pristine and remote places in the world. But it is also one of the few places where you can witness climate change happening right in front of your eyes. Fusion traveled with Dr. Bob Corral, a world-renowned expert on climate change, to the Jacob Schaven Glacier near Ilulissat, Greenland, to see ground zero of global warming. Why ground zero? Because what happens here is key to understanding what's to come for the rest of the world.
The changing climate that we're all talking about comes about by the use of fossil fuels, which has been the engine of our whole planet for the last 250 years. But the changing of the temperature of the planet and all the consequences of that simply comes by the fact that we have too much carbon in the atmosphere, most of it carbon dioxide, from the burning of fossil fuels, period.
Greenland is sparsely populated and has done little to contribute to CO2 emissions that are fueling climate change. But the temperature is rising here at a rate that is 2 times the global average.
Greenland's ice sheet is 1.7 million square kilometers. That's enough ice to raise sea level worldwide by 7 meters. And is less stable and more susceptible to climate change than previously thought.
7 meters of sea level rise would completely submerge major coastal cities around the globe. What percentage of Greenland is covered with ice?
Oh, it's about 85%.
85%.
But what's coming off is producing about 40% of the sea level rise we have experienced over the last 100 years.
There is no other way to put it. The rate of glacial ice melt in Greenland is shocking. Scientists attribute the rapid melting to what they call a reinforcing feedback mechanism. White ice is a natural mirror reflecting the radiation of the sun out. When that white ice melts, it absorbs more of the sun's heat energy. It's just like wearing a black t-shirt on a sunny summer day. It gets hot quickly. Conservative estimates put global sea level rise at 1 to 3 feet by the end of the century if emissions go unchecked. Melting glaciers in Greenland will have repercussions around the globe. But climate change is also impacting the local population.
I can see that the thickness of the ice, especially in the fjords, is not that thick that it used to be, and the winds are very stronger and more frequently.
Niels Gomdel is a local tour guide and fisherman who lives on the island's western shore.
We have always been fishing for halibut here in Ilulissat, so that is not a change within itself. So the places where they are going out fishing is more hard to reach due to the thickness of the ice is gone.
While climate change creates new challenges for some Greenlanders, others believe it will open up economic opportunities as melting ice reveals new oil and mineral deposits and opens shipping lanes that will bring business to the local economy.
The climate change in Greenland is the major pressure, and at the same time is also giving us the greatest driver. And I'm sure that we are the only country around the world that sees both at the same time. We see pressure, at the same time we see opportunities.
What do you say about companies and governments that are basically saying, okay, the Arctic is opening up, so let's explore for more oil and let's extract more fossil fuels?
If we go and do this mining of either oil or even coal or natural gas, we're just accelerating the process. That makes no sense to me. The greenhouse effect is simple. It's like putting a blanket on the planet. And the more CO2 you put up there, keeps it warmer and warmer.
Can we stop this?
You can't. A good way to think about it is take a piece of ice and set it on the table, and it'll melt. Why? Because it's warmer. We can't back up the warming. It's there. It's a time issue. And if we put our heads together and start taking the fossil fuels away, the greenhouse gases, we can slow that process down. Think of it this way. Do you want 5 ice cubes melting on your dining room table, or you want 1?
one.
And we want one, right? And the only way you get one is stop using fossil fuels. Otherwise, you're going to have 5.
Climate change is happening. We cannot turn back the damage that we have already done. But it is now in our hands to prevent it from getting worse. From Greenland, I am Nico Ibarwen, and this is Fusion.